Joseph Garriger, comic book movie. Hey, how's it going, Kenny?
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm gonna just jump right in and start asking you questions.
Okay.
Um, First thing, when you first found out that they were gonna make a another Top Gun movie, were you hesitant about it because of how much of a classic the first one was, or were you like, okay, let's go, let's knock this one out of the park? Were you ready to go from jump?
It was much more the latter. It was when I met the director when I was playing the Hollywood Bowl with Mike McDonald a few years back now, and he asked me for a boy girl remake of Playing with the Boys, and perhaps a remake of Danger Zone, but they weren't sure where they stood on that yet. And then Tom decided to go with the original Danger Zone, uh, which from 30 years ago, because he wanted to conjure up the vibe of that very first Top Gun movie. Um, but yeah, no, I was in from the get go. It's just, it's a no brainer.
So, how did you manage to balance, paying homage to the first film while also elevating it to a new level?
Well, because we used the original version of Danger Zone, um, I just stuck with what we had. I had planned on and had actually started a re-record where I wanted the sounds to be bigger so they would be appropriate for that 5.1 remix of theater sound, where it's all around you. So I had a mix where the drums would come in from behind and the chorus would spread out with six guitars, and um, and Tom said, "No, I just want the original. I want that vibe." The one thing I noticed when I heard it in the theater, saw it for the first time, was that the fidelity of Top Gun is, because it's a 30-year-old mix. It's not the same level of fidelity as the rest of the music in the movie, but it's really close. And the Giorgio Moroder mix was a really strong mix, and especially jumped out back then. And it still holds up really well. So I was very pleased with it.
So, with the timing of your memoir, were you able to include anything about this movie in your book, or had you already written it before becoming involved with Top Gun Maverick?
No, actually, I'd become involved with Top Gun Maverick 2 years before, uh, and we'd already started work on that. And then I wrote the book during the interim. And so, because Tom withheld the movie for a couple of years, the timing of the book and the movie came out exactly at the same time. So it was auspicious timing for me to release some memoirs.
Were you able to release anything in the book about the movie itself, or was
Oh
it
yeah,
at a
no,
okay?
definitely. I talked about the fact that I considered um, the first Top Gun Danger Zone marriage to be incredibly lucky timing. It was like I was in the studio recording Playing with the Boys when I got the call from Giorgio's office to consider doing Danger Zone. And there were a few acts, as urban legend would have it, there were a few acts ahead of me in line, but they were either passed on, or like Mickey Thomas of the Starship passed on the song because he didn't hear it. And then I heard there was another issue where the lawyers mucked it up with another act. But I think I wasn't really on the top of the list because I was already recording a song for the movie. And I imagine they wanted a different artist for each song. But they came around to, well, who can sing this? Who can sing a rock song and have the high notes to follow up on it? And I had definitely proven that. So I think that they just went with, let's call Kenny because that's a safe call.
Were there any interesting experiences like on set, or like when you were not on set, but when you were making the music? Like, were there any interesting experiences that felt like it was a deja vu from your first time around?
Oh, with this one. Well, I wasn't really in the studio for this one, because like I say, we used the original version. But when I did the original version with Giorgio Moroder, I brought in my Tina Turner record. I had private dancer on my turntable a lot. And I really loved how she was approaching rock and roll from her R&B roots. And so I wanted to bring that into my approach. So I played that for Giorgio, and then I went into character so that I could emulate her somewhat. And especially, I found that the easiest place was on that line on Danger Zone. On that Danger Zone was that very nasal, edgy thing that she got. And I did the white skinny boy version of Tina Turner.
Okay, well, that is pretty much mostly all I have. I just wanted to end by letting you say, is there anything people don't ask you that you'd like to share? Anything you'd like to say just ahead of your memoir, for people to check that out?
Well, yeah, no, I pretty much don't have anything left to say. We took a couple of years to write the memoirs, and I decided to lean on as much funny memories as possible. Although, of course, there are the other ones in there because that's all part of it. But it turns out to be a pretty funny book, so I'm glad for that.
Okay, well, it's awesome you have both those things coming out at the same time, and it was a great time chatting with you. Honestly, keep doing what you're doing and have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you.